Now, severe weather forecast for the South Island's west coast has raised fears that an old toxic waste dump could be burst. And local leaders are pleading with the government to stop sitting on its hands and help clean it up before it's too late. Strong weather warnings have been in place for much of the South Island, with predictions of 8.5 metre swells and gale force winds that could reach up to 100 kilometres per hour. People who live along or near the shore have been cautioned to stay away from the beach because as the wind picks up and the tide comes in, conditions could become very dangerous. Nicholas Poynton filed this report.
Swells at the northern end of the west coast have had the area on high alert. Buller District Mayor Gary Howard says a decades-old mine dump at Hector, 30 kilometres north of Westport, is at risk of being clawed open by the sea. He says erosion caused by storm surges in recent years has meant the dump, which is full of asbestos and industrial waste, is now extremely vulnerable.
It's on the sea. It's right there. It can't be more exposed. We've put up a number of temporary sacrificial bunds, but we need a 660,000 rock wall solution.
Mr Howard says the waste has been there since before Solid Energy, when State Coal was mining at Hector. He says the council has been asking for help from the government's Contamination Remediation Fund, but the sea won't wait.
This will be a good test this weekend, and everybody's sitting on their hands from central government. We've been appealing to government. It needs attention sooner rather than later, and it's not for our ratepayers. This is a state coal mine dump.
Torrential rain and flooding exposed a disused landfill at Fox River in March, scattering rubbish across about 75 kilometres of West Coast beaches and riverbed. Westland Mayor Bruce Smith says they are now knuckling down for what's set to be a substantial storm enhanced by king tides. He says the forecasted 10-metre swells offshore will likely mean waves of up to 8.5 metres on beaches the length of the west coast over the weekend.
No question, we're in for some erosion, we're in for some damage, and looking, down the beach this morning, it looks pretty grumpy out there.
Mr Smith says while most West Coasters are smart enough to act responsibly, the warnings are out to steer clear of beaches over the next few days. He says the conditions create a high risk for dangerous rogue waves.
I was down at Sunset Point yesterday, and a wave come through that was a metre higher than everything else. I couldn't believe it, and so you got to be really careful. And it's common sense, isn't it? You just stay home, stay by the fire.
Hector resident Brent Dyerberg has lived on the coast for 13 years. He says while the weather has been mild so far today, he and his partner are expecting worse to come.
Well, so far we've had just a couple of squalls come through, clap of thunder, not a lot of rain or hail, so not too bad at the moment. It's just sort of like the calm before the storm.
Met Service meteorologist Lewis Ferris says they have recorded wind gusts of up to 80 kilometres per hour along the coast. However, he says winds are expected to pick up tonight.
The strong wind watch for Buller, Nelson and Marlborough, it's from 4 p.m. today, Friday, to 7 a.m. tomorrow.
Met Service is forecasting further bad weather for parts of the country for the rest of the weekend. Another active front is expected to move along the South Island from tomorrow through to Monday, bringing cold snaps and strong winds along with it. For Checkpoint, this is Nicholas Poynton.